Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So I did a video yesterday, guys, regarding that intense Twitter hole, and Martin Volk here at Martin CP Volk on Twitter tweeted at me. He said, "Working Money, you stopped there, but that wasn't the start." That was a reply. I followed it back to the start and replied in a thread yesterday. It goes all the way back to BG Iraji's tweet. And so sure enough, I did in fact stop here, but this was indeed a longer thread, and when we scroll up right to the top, let's keep moving. It was actually a tweet from Michael B at XRP. Michael B here discussing the validators, and so private peeps run validators at their own dollar. Corps that use XRPL need to step up. Tiffany Hayden does not hate XRP, or Ripple, people who don't run val. So it's a tweet about the validators. Again, guys, dating way back to February 9th. And again, if you guys want to read it, I will link this in the description for you. There's a huge debate about validators and private validators versus Ripple running validators. A lot of people chiming in here. So I do apologize. There was more to that tweet yesterday. So thanks so much, Martin Volk, for pointing that out. When I do make a mistake, I do like to rectify it and give the proper person credit for that. So again, thanks so much to Martin. Guys, it's 15 days until the Bitcoin halving. And yeah, the hours just keep counting down. And you know what? XRP price still kind of slowly moving its way up, following Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is trading at 7,700 per BTC. And what was XRP trading at right now? It's about 19.7. So we are slowly making gains, guys, slowly making gains. And what is that halving going to bring? In the past, we've seen declines after the halving, followed by increases. Let me go back to, what was it? BTC USD. Was it on the Bitfinex exchange? No. Okay, I had it here before. I guess it was deleted. I just had demarcated the Bitcoin halvings. So the last one was back in 2016, and after that one, we had seen what was in the short-ish term, so over the next couple of months, a decline in Bitcoin, but then overall the rally just continued to go upward. 2016 was an upward year for Bitcoin. We don't talk too much about 2016 being an upward year. 2017 was really when we saw the gains, but I think anything's possible. It's likely we could see that same kind of trajectory upward. We could see an immediate downturn, an immediate bearish temp trend before we see the upward momentum kick in. Quite possible. Right now, Bitcoin making its way up after that significant drop back in mid-March. The same with XRP, the same with the S&P 500. Everything was dropping here. And again, I don't think this is over for the S&P 500 for the stock market. Stock markets around the world, I think we could still see some declines, and that could affect Bitcoin price, even post-halving. So we'll keep an eye on it, guys. Veteran analyst. So Ripple could disrupt cross-border payments industry, but XRP exposure poses a significant risk. This from Mike McGlone, Bloomberg's senior commodity strategist, thinks Ripple may successfully disrupt the cross-border payment space, as I had mentioned in an article a couple days ago. But the veteran analyst is concerned, however, that Ripple's exposure to XRP and the volatile crypto market could be a liability. Says McGlone in a recent Crypto Outlook report, Ripple Labs' 2019 partnership with MoneyGram suggests markets still see potential for disruption in cross-border payments, yet Ripple's exposure to its own cryptocurrency threatens its enterprise software ventures. So this is how he sees it. The project's investors, including MasterCard, Visa, Capital One, Citigroup, and Bank of America, are likely just hedging. Ripple owns more than half of the total supply of XRP, and the company's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, recently said the company needs to sell some of its holdings on a routine basis in order to stay profitable. I don't think it was ever stated anywhere that Brad Garlinghouse said that Ripple needs to sell XRP in order to stay profitable, first of all. But second of all, they've also said that they have halted programmatic sales of XRP. So nevertheless, overall, McGlone thinks cross-border blockchain payments have an uphill battle in replacing the current system. And this is no secret, guys. We know time will tell. He goes on to say governance, scalability, standardization, and security concerns provide a healthy moat around the existing infrastructure, such as SWIFT. So we have to get past several hurdles within the old system in order to replace that system with a new system. But, we talk about so much on this channel. The breaking headlines for cryptocurrency, XRP adoption, milestones that Ripple has reached in order to move forward. And so to me, This is more of a crawl, walk, run kind of explanation that I would give to somebody stating the argument that Mr. McGlone is stating here. The fact that, well, it's an uphill battle. Don't know if they're going to do it. Well, we've already come a long way. Again, 2018 was that year where people had doubts. 2019 was that transformational year. And I think 2020 and beyond, we are going to see a difference being made, especially now because of the beer flu pandemic. Contactless and cashless payments are going to be the future of making payments. It only makes sense. We have the technology to do it. Plus now, because there's no vaccine for the beer flu as of yet, people are going to want some sort of security. And so I think there is going to be a push for cashless, contactless payments. And this is exactly what companies like Ripple strive to do. So McGlone sees a future where central bank digital assets could impact payments and compete with projects such as Facebook's Libra. If non-banks could access central bank money directly, it could create unintended consequences for the Fed and disintermediate commercial banks' roles as credit creators and maturity transformation machines. So he brings up some interesting points. Although just knowing what we know at this point in time, I don't think at this point we are still seeing that same incline of an uphill battle, I guess we would call it. Maybe before in 2018, it was more on the closer to a 90-degree angle. And now we're kind of over it a bit. Maybe we're at a 35-degree angle for the uphill. It's getting a little easier to climb that hill. Cryptocurrency regulatory clarity still needs to be clear. In big countries like the United States, for example, that is one of the bigger hurdles, I think. But once that is all said and done, guys, the rest will be history. Just one more thing I wanted to point out with regards to this. The fact that we are all in quarantine right now and the beer flu, it's affecting everybody worldwide. Apparently, Amazon has stated that sales have gone through the roof. People now more than ever are buying things online because in a lot of cases, we don't have a choice. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that this is one example of how our lives, I think, are going to change fundamentally, even post-pandemic, in that more people will get used to buying things online. I know there are already a lot of people that buy things online, but there are different generations now that have had to learn, like baby boomers may not have bought things online as much as millennials, let's say, for example. And now baby boomers are realizing, no, I do need to get these things and I can't go to the store because it's not open or whatever, they're doing something weird. Plus, I don't really want to go out and touch anybody or talk to anybody or have anybody breathe on me. So I'm going to buy this online. And so more people are learning how to do this. I think this is going to fundamentally change the financial landscape moving forward. Another check in the column for digital payments and technology like RippleNet, DLT, the utilization of XRP. And so this is why I say this is just going to keep pushing this forward. Unfortunately, it will be bad for brick and mortar stores. I think we're going to see a lot more closures, unfortunately, than we have in the past. And who knows how else this will change the financial landscape and even just the retail landscape moving forward. Interesting things to ponder, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see more stores closing down. It is unfortunately quite sad. Guys, I saw this from Matthew Liny with the oil markets in free fall. And yeah, we have the price of oil per barrel has never been so low. So with the oil markets in free fall and the petrodollar in crisis, behind the scenes, Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple has become one of the most influential people in the Islamic world, and we keep forgetting about the Middle East. So this is Islamica 500, the 500 who make the Islamic economy, guys. And they've profiled Mr. Brad Garlinghouse from fintech firm Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of Ripple, who provides global financial settlement solutions to enable the world of exchange. I don't have to read it for you. You guys know the story. The big point is Al Rajhi Bank made first cross-border payment transactions using Ripple. They use XRP for money transfers. For banks, it means they can source liquidity on demand in real time without having to pre-fund Nostro accounts. For payments, providers mean they can expand reach into new markets, lower foreign exchange costs, and provide faster payment settlement. Brad served as CEO, and then it gives a little bit of his background talking about AOL. And does it say Yahoo in here? No, it doesn't actually. But we know Brad Garlinghouse's history. So they are naming him one of the top 500 who make the Islamic economy. And Ripple, obviously the company behind the man, your legal and business services firm in Luxembourg. So this is from a company out of Dubai. Thanks so much, Matthew Liny, for posting that. Guys, did you see this tweet from Crypto Eddie? This is great. Here we go. The new SBI-backed exchange senior strategist has said, "We will proceed with the demonstration experiment of domestic remittance and overseas remittance through XRP, and finally, global cash management, corporate finance, and trade." So guys, this is from a Cointelegraph article here in Japanese. I took the liberty to translate that. So this here from Cointelegraph Japan, virtual currency exchange FXcoin acceptance of opening an account to start Bitcoin transactions next month, but they plan to test remittance using XRP. So cryptocurrency exchange FXcoin announced that it has started accepting accounts for physical transactions on April 23rd. The virtual currency that can be traded is Bitcoin. After that, though, it plans to gradually increase highly liquid currencies such as XRP. Bitcoin trading is scheduled to start in May. As soon as a specific schedule is decided, an announcement will be made later. In addition, though, we plan to start virtual currency derivative transactions, margin trading based on the gold commercial law. Furthermore, we are planning to expand actual demand for virtual currencies by creating a swap market. So here is FXcoin senior strategist Yasuo Matsuda, and here's where he talks about the future plans. He says, until now, crypto assets have been used mainly for speculative purposes due to the magnitude of price movements, but in order to demonstrate the inherent superiority of crypto assets that enable quick money transfer and settlement at a low cost, hedging price movements in order to establish the swap market and expand the usage for the purpose of actual demand. In order to do so, we will proceed with the demonstration experiment of domestic remittance and overseas remittance through XRP, and finally, global cash management, corporate finance, and trade. We would like to expand the range of applications to fields such as finance. So right now, it is just a test. It is just an experiment, as they say. But we're moving in the right direction, so I wanted to thank Crypto Eri for posting this. Thanks so much, sending us the latest XRP news from Japan, a real important part of the community. And I just wanted to go down here just to what I was speaking to before. Some people are mentioning here that it is just a test, but Russell here on Twitter says, and if it's the only one being tested, crawl, walk, run. So that's what I was saying earlier. We are still working this out. So he says, looks like we are getting ready for a run or at least a jog. I couldn't agree more. I think the crawl phase is over for Ripple, and we are at least walking at this point. We are moving ahead slowly. There are still some hurdles in the way. We aren't on a full sprint yet. This is a marathon. This is a 4-mile marathon, for example, and we are still on the first mile. But we're getting there. We're closing in on the second, and we're continuing to make progress. Not running out of steam, guys. And to show you how close we actually are, I'm going to show you guys this next tweet. Guys, this from XRP Crypto Wolf. The US is home to the most decentralized finance DeFi startups, followed by the UK and Singapore. So the United States, although not far ahead with cryptocurrency regulatory clarity, they do hold the title of 50% of the decentralized finance or open finance startups, and this is tracked by The Block. So this article here from The Block, the US is home to the most DeFi startups, followed by the UK and Singapore. So nearly half of DeFi or open finance startups tracked by The Block are headquarters in the United States. Out of the total 73 OFI firms in our database, nearly 50% are based in the US, followed by the UK, Germany, according to a recent findings published by The Block's Steven Zhang. And so you guys can see the chart down here. Boy, look at that dark purpley blue. That represents the United States of America with 49% of all DeFi startups. The UK trails far behind at 12%, Singapore at 10%, the EU at 7%, Australia 4%, China 4% only, Switzerland 3%, Serbia, Liechtenstein, Canada, India, Israel, Argentina, Brazil. So when looking at the legal domiciles of these firms, the percentages change up a bit. The US pie of the share shrinks from nearly 50% to 44%. Through that lens, Singapore, Switzerland, Cayman Islands, and the British Virgin Islands take a larger share of the pie. 21% of firms in the Block's dataset have different legal domains and headquarters. So despite all that, the US obviously holding the lion's share portion of DeFi startups, which means, to me, it means two things. One thing is this. On the one hand, the United States has a lot of talent to draw from, many smart people doing very, very interesting things. And so they have the resources, the technology, and the money to help fund these projects. So, of course, the United States is going to be the leader in that regard. But what it also tells me is that these companies, because they are number one in the world, it gives this industry more lobbying power to lobby the government. And it's not that the government needs too much pushing at this point. We know cryptocurrency regulations are around the corner. We know that we've even heard it in the news. They've been tabled for now. They still need time to get through it. We've heard many people in higher positions mentioning lawmakers, so on and so forth, governors, all talking about cryptocurrency regulations and how blockchain will be the future. They just kind of need to figure out, which coins to pay paint with certain brushes, and then how do we paint other coins with other brushes, right? They need to figure out all the nitty gritty. So we know it's there, and there are bright people in the United States developing blockchain technology. So to me, this screams a home run will be hit soon. And in case the United States needed a bit of a push, let me show you guys this next tweet. This was a great one. This tweet is from I Am Legion on Twitter. And he points out all the different countries that have already greenlit central bank digital currencies. So green light, China, green light. Let's scroll down here. France, green light with this article here. Bank of France launches experiment program on central bank digital currency. Germany, green light as well. German cabinet and Bundesbank are in close communication on CBDCs being issued. And then he lists a few other countries here. Canada, green light. England, green light. Switzerland, green light. Japan, green light. Some with excerpts here stating just that. And do you guys remember this video here? I forget what this guy's name is. The Institute of International and European Affairs. I just want to play you this. This was, I think, from last year, I think maybe a few months ago. Let me play you this real quick.
15 banks have been working on creating central bank digital currency as a consortium for the last 3.5 years. I've been working on this for 3.5 years. Quietly, the central banks had said to us, shh, say nothing. And then our friends at Facebook announced Libra, and all of a sudden, thank you, by the way, because we were allowed to talk about what we've been doing.
So did you hear that? These guys have been working in the shadows on CBDCs, didn't want to let the cat out of the bag, but then Libra, so this must have been back from probably June 2019. So Facebook came out, talked about their Libra project, and then a lot of stuff followed from there. There were legal hearings and that whole thing with Facebook in court trying to defend their Libra project, and governments around the world saying, well, we're not touching Libra because it is not regulated the way we want this thing to be regulated. Well, in the background, that's what this gentleman was saying here. They had been working on CBDCs, and Libra gave them the opportunity to then tell the world, here's what's happening. So fast forward about 6 months or so, and now we're here, guys. We're seeing statements from all these countries saying that they are developing more cryptocurrencies. And not only that, a lot of this technology has been being developed since the beginning of the internet. How can it be possible that connectors don't need to be trusted? After all, they are moving money. ILP uses a simple form of cryptographic escrow, which ensures that connectors only get paid if they've fulfilled their obligation first. This eliminates the risk that a liquidity provider might default, sometimes called Herstatt risk, after a German bank that had defaulted on its payment obligations when it went bankrupt in 1974. So, because of this risk, large banks today often use a method called payment versus payment through services like CLS, which is exactly what ILP does as well. A key feature in ILP is the ability to chain these escrows together. This is what turns it from a neat way to collect ledgers into a giant global graph of liquidity. And guys, let's not forget this as well. As long as your ledger supports Interledger, you can participate in a payment and someone will be able to provide liquidity. It can be through PayPal, Alipay, Bitcoin, bank ledgers, or Skype. Anywhere people hold balances, they have a ledger. Interoperability, that is the key. I Am Legion also pointing out, planned since the creation of the internet. So this runs deep, guys. Who knows how long these plans have been in play, really, but what we do know is that it is knocking on our door. Cryptocurrency regulation will pass. Countries like China are already moving along with this. The United States has the ability, they have the talent, they have everything they need. They just need to flip the switch. And I don't think they're just going to sit back and let other countries take the lead on this, nor does Tut_get_crypto on Twitter. He says, no way the US is sitting back watching this happen. So he posts this on Twitter. China is set to release an ambitious 15-year blueprint that will lay out its plans to set the global standards for the next generation of technologies. So China, they have the power as well. They have technology and they have brains. How much of a push does the United States need to get ahead? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.